Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. All right. Microphone's good. Microphone is good. Morning, Oscar. Give you a couple minutes here before we say anything important. But if there's anything you want to look at, Oscar, you just fire away, and we'll take a look at it. Take a look together. What are these alerts? What is happening? I don't think I have a whole lot to say about Bitcoin up in her. Yeah, I don't think I have a whole lot to say about it. I mean, where did we leave off yesterday? Yep, I remember. We left off yesterday with failure at this low. You see, highlighter just works better. Actually, just take the magnet off. Failure at that low equaling weakness at the high. It broke the high. It has retested the high. It has set a new high. And we are stuck in the middle of this range here. This one. And this one. Pretty boring place to be on a Friday. Pretty boring place to be on a Friday. So yeah, don't have a whole lot of stuff to talk about on this. Nope, don't. I mean, we could even go down to like the fucking 1 minute time frame. There is just not a lot to talk about here. Nope. Nope. No, there isn't. Because we're still in between these guys. And we're still in between these guys. So yeah, not a lot to talk about on Bitcoin. Let me find something to talk about on Bitcoin. Let's find something. Let's find something to talk about on Bitcoin. I mean, I would say here versus here. I would say this first. That seems reasonable. Yep, that seems reasonable. As long as this low stays intact. I mean, like real locally, it was, we had a little bit of a, not that thing. Was it better on the one? I feel like it was better on the one. Yeah, we had just a little bit of curve of liquidity. We had a little speck of demand. We swept this low, broke this high, took out that high, interacted with supply, came back down into the demand created by the initial break, and we're lifting. I don't think I can say anything else about it. I really don't. There we go. Oscar's got us covered with some shit to look at. What's up, Luke? It's Friday, man. It's Friday. Let's go look at these other coins, because this is boring. All right, let's hop out of here. Let's go look at some other stuff. Hey, there's a chart from yesterday. Excuse my throat. What are we doing? Hype. We doing hype. I have no idea where my phone is this morning, aka no camera. Is hype spelled with two H's? Oh, you didn't spell it with two H's. Oh wait, you corrected it. It's one Y. I don't even know why I'm saying H, and it's a couple of E's on the end. Multiple of the E's. This, that sucker. Oh, that's like hyper. Brad, we got this ticker right. I'm gonna guess we don't have this ticker right. Let's try it with the double Y again. No. How about we just roll with this guy? Could we just do TA on this guy? Just some regular old hype? Maybe we just do some TA on this guy. Well, you can kind of see what happened here. Obviously, I don't know if the chart goes back further than that. It may go back further than that, but that's all I can see that happened here when I look at this. I mean, you know, like, will we come for this? I mean, pretty likely, right? Like, if you clear that high, what's going to stop you from smoking the all-time high from back in Christmas of 24? Yeah, I mean it seems a pretty fair statement. We had a range that we came up out of there and retested pretty cleanly. And then formed another range here, broke up. This is our area that has not been mitigated yet at all. 0 mitigations. So we can mark that out. I don't think it's going to be overly relevant because up here you developed another range and have already broken up from it on a march up to the high at 28.5. We dropped down to probably we're on the 12 hour. Let's get down to the 4. Now let's get down to the 15. I want to see it on the 15. I mean, kind of a little bit of a sloppy range, but it is there nonetheless. You had this little guy right here. This is, as far as you have this demand that's down here, and you have your initiation, and during your initiation you have this little sell to buy that breaks structure from left to right that creates an additional amount of inefficiency coming out of it. And then I would say that put the range here. You didn't really you just formed a low right into it. That's what I mean by it's a little bit of an ugly range. It doesn't have multiple lows to it. You just have kind of like that sort of situation. A little bit of a bull flag situation here. Again, kind of sloppy. And then we go up. So, I mean, I don't see I don't see a lot of risk to reward left in this. You know what I mean? Like a trade like this one had some R's to it, right? As you form that bottom and kind of return your 15-minute structure to bullish, target your last sort of swing high. That had some R's to it because you wouldn't really be knocked out of that thing yet. But like, how do we establish risk to reward on it? Still, it starts to look a little rough. Yeah, it starts to look a little rough. Yeah, that looks a little rough. Because you could, let's pump up the volume. Pump up the volume. You know what I mean? Like after let's get back out here. Sorry, my mouth never keeps up with my brain. I would say that this is like the biggest structure that you can draw on this chart probably looks like that, right? And so an initiation above that high, I think you could still experience a retracement prior to a run up to this high in the event that price flows that way. And so, it's like, it's tough because if price does come straight up from here, you're going to leave this unmitigated demand right here, and that's what I would expect to hit on the way back. So it's like at best a stressful scalp trade. That's what I think I'm trying to say. Like at best, it's a stressful scalp trade. But yeah, I don't think I have much more on that, but I think I would like to, I'm going to just propose, we're just going to make shit up. I'm just going to make shit up. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to make it up. I'm just going to make this up. I'm going to say that this does get a little bit of a ripper and gets above that high. We're just theory crafting for what could happen in the future. That's all. Obviously, this hasn't happened yet. And then I'd be looking to this range. Probably somewhere in here. Yeah, probably somewhere in here. Let's play with a couple time frames. I'm just going to cast some spells on this sucker. And then we're going to move on to a different coin. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like anything I'm seeing in there. That feels more appropriate. That feels more appropriate. We're probably going to need some extension on you, because I have a feeling once I leave the 90-minute time frame, you're going to be looking all pathetic and small, so let's get you stretched out a little bit. And then let's go up time frames. Yeah, I think I guess all that's to say that, like, I think there's a potential that you could literally trade it from this zone again. I think that's all I'm trying to say. But I don't have anything outside of that local little scalp looking thing, and like something like this I think looks more interesting. But, you know, whatever. I suppose that's, yeah. I don't think I have anything else to say about it. I think that's all I have to say about it. So we can move to Ave. What are we doing, dude? What are we doing? Ave. What are we doing? Yeah, dude, the amount of times, let's just talk about this again in the hopes that it hits into somebody's head and sticks permanently. How did this one go? I just continue to see this model over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. This is what occurred right here. Anyways, just wanted to point that out. What do we have up here? Are we approaching some resistance? Do we get to the resistance? I don't know. There's a little something in there. We haven't tagged it yet, though. No, I don't like that. Still not in love. Still not in love. I'm closer to in love now. I'm closer. I think we'll go back to the daily. Daily order block right here. Template. Supply. All right. I'm just trying to make a better effort on all these streams to talk about supply and demand. So we're going to talk about a little bit of supply here. So you have like a little bit of a range right here. And you see that you smash below it. And overall, this move is a fairly intense move. And as a percentage, you know, it's like 20%, right? So you have this range that you broke down from. Price ultimately achieved like this more like swing low down here. Your inefficiency exists right here on this whole daily candle. And this is the last buy to sell prior to breaking down. Now, it did have a little bit of mitigation on it. but there is an unmitigated portion, and I would say that, those orders, all of the orders really in this area, but these guys still are part of the assholes that did this to the chart. Are those positions still open? Do they plan on shorting here still? I don't know. How the hell am I supposed to know that? I have absolutely no fucking clue about that. But that is a little, what I'll call a institutional footprint on the chart. And so I think we should pay attention to it. That's what I think. Now, does it mean that it is going to set a lower low? Well, quite likely not. Quite likely not. But can it trigger a range? I think there's a good possibility of that. I mean, it is Friday. I'm just thinking commonsensically here. I'm not trying to be a super genius. Just thinking commonsensically. I mean, maybe this is kind of a odd. Like, how does it go? A, B, C? I have no fucking clue how that works. Yeah, it's a. I mean, maybe. You're about to lose. I mean, you could lose some 15-minute structure here. And so, what do we have that can prop us up? We have a little bit of demand in this area. Again, I have no idea if it's going to work. I really care about the market structure, but I'm gonna put it on here because you do have a range of price from this high to this low, back up to here, and you did break up out of this range, right? So, where was the last sell to buy that locally broke structure from left to right that created an inefficiency that brought us to a place like that on the chart? I would say it is here. It is here. The inefficiency isn't like super obvious on the 15, but if you hopped up to like, I don't know, the 90-minute, like that's all one candle. So let's get back down to the 15 or the 5 or whatever. Just the same way as you have a range of price from here to here, right? Same thing. In the event that this were to snap down below this low, what would be your last buy to sell that broke structure from left to right? Now, is that going to turn into an inefficiency? That's a fucking mouthful. I don't know, but I mean, I think it has the potential to, right? No, I mean it kind of filled that inefficiency already, because I would have looked at it more from, like, if you want a single candle perspective, it's going to be this guy. Supply. Yeah. So I think, if we were to look at this like on the 15-minute time frame, I think what might make the most sense is like, maybe it does break here, maybe it does lift here, maybe it does mitigate there, and maybe it does fall there. And then this becoming the better place to get involved. Or a run down at, I don't know, find a low, pick a low. Pick a low, any low. No, not any low, the next low. Now, let's see. Let me take a look at a couple other things. Seems reasonable from a deviation perspective. It's Friday. I mean, are the bulls gonna come in today? I don't know. Maybe they will. I don't know if the I don't know. I'm just here with it. So I guess since I've only talked about a short trade, what would be a sensical long trade that would maintain this overall structure flow? What would be a sensical one? Well, I've got an idea. I think an idea would be that you would come down into the discount of your local range, down into a zone like this, and you would return your 15-minute structure to bullish, because this, you're going to lose your 15-minute structure at this low, as we discussed earlier. And so let's say it does flow down here and gets down into the discount of this range, and then you see your 15-minute turning bullishly again somewhere out of the discount of this range of price from here to here, and then you return your 15-minute to bullish. That would give you an opportunity to set a higher low or a higher high. Of course, it could also sweep this, it could also sweep that, but I'm just talking about if we're going to talk about long trades. I'm just trying to come up with some long trades for us. From a supplier demand perspective, let's delete some of this stuff. Actually, let's go ahead and leave this on for a bit. Let's get this out of the way. Let's play around with these time frames again. See if there's anything in here that is making sense. Not super. No. I think I saw something on, was it the 45? From a single candle order block perspective, I would say that's the only sensible piece of demand down there. And at least the equilibrium of this demand is at the discount area. Now that's just a big fat question mark there. Like, let's think about this for a second. If this comes down here and does set a lower high for a lower low, is a zone like this really going to be what triggers a higher high? I don't know. That doesn't sit super well with me. Why wouldn't this zone do that? Why does it need to be this zone? I suppose I don't get a pick, but I'm just thinking, again, commonsensically, in the event that we failed the top of this range of price. Sorry if I'm boring everybody to death, and no, I am not looking at chat right now. If we indeed failed the top of this range of price, wouldn't it just make more sense to pull the low? And at that rate, why not just grab the external low? We're right there, pretty close. So I'm gonna propose. If you have too many words. I'm proposing a couple of ideas. Return your 15-minute market structure to bullish after losing it and retracing to discount of the range. Outside of that, I think I just want to see one of these lows grabbed. Boom, boom, boom. I think I just want to see one of those lows grabbed. That would be what I would look at for long trades, because I don't like longing up here in premium. That does not look like a fun idea to me. All right, and so that was Aave. Ruin. Dude, I ain't done Ruin in a long time. Let's go check it out. It's going to be a fairly short stream because I got a late start because I'm a loser. Okay, so we have the potential of a double top on Rune. And it did happen in a relevant place on the chart. And to reiterate the criteria for supply and demand, again, we're going to use this chart as an example. You have a range of price from here to here to here that broke down to here, okay? And so there's our range of price. We broke down from it. It incurred a 50% drop. I can't do that to a chart. The only people I'm aware of that can do that to a chart is an institutional investor. Prior to the loss of this low, you have one last buy to sell that locally breaks structure from left to right. It has inefficiency to its break. It breaks the external low, and it slams down, what did we say, 50%, right? So as you see price pulling up into here, it is filling these short orders. Filling the short orders, boom, down. So we have found our assholes. We found them. They can no longer hide from us. Now, we are interacting with that section of price. Let's go ahead and get this range drawn out here. And it'd be so much cooler if we took the low. Wouldn't that be cooler? I just think that'd be cooler. Let's get this demand out of the way, because that's driving me fucking Jesus nuts. You over here, please, and thank you. Okay, now the same logic that we just applied here, we're gonna inverse our logic, and we're gonna apply it again. You have a high, you have a low, you break the high. The last sell to buy that broke structure from left to right that created an inefficiency on the chart is here. Price comes up from this zone 56%. Institutional involvement, aka demand. Boom, 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 boom. And that demand was created by demand. So that's obviously going to be an interesting place on the chart. It's way south of us. We do have above our range high, we do have another sell to buy that breaks structure locally. Let me zoom in. Sell to buy that breaks structure locally that places an inefficiency on the chart. So we do have a piece of demand that sits right above the range high. By range high, I'm talking about this one, because I know there's lots of ranges, so I got to be specific. And now let's drop down to the 15, and let's see what we have up in her. What do you know? Another range. Another range. So now here's an interesting thing. So you sweep the low of the range, you break your 15-minute structure, and you set a high, and that high is unchallenged, and then you come back down and you sweep the low. Well, what a pain in the ass that is. What an absolute pain in the rear. And if you would have taken, in my opinion, if you would have taken this trade here and covered that low there and targeted this high here and lost the trade, you would have done absolutely nothing wrong. You would have done absolutely nothing whatsoever wrong. I mean, it even comes back down where the break occurred, right? Let's get these off of here. It returns to where the break occurred, aka where demand was put onto the chart, and it breaks your 15-minute structure again coming out of it, and then doesn't even come up to this little high right here like an asshole. If you'd have taken that trade and lost it, you would have done absolutely nothing wrong, in my opinion. Nothing whatsoever. I would take this trade 10 out of 10 times. 10 out of 10 times I'm taking that trade. But none of that matters because we haven't come up with a new idea yet. We've only talked about old stuff. We've only talked about old stuff. Okay. This is our current range of price. We do have demand here, but I never like when the face of it curls like this. I don't like curly-haired demand. Nope. I like demand that looks more like this. This last wick here comes down and shaves something off. That's when I like demand a lot more. Now, this didn't do that, so I can't say I love this demand. There is demand there nonetheless, though. So I think at this point, this is kind of a shame because we already have a 1, a 2, and a 3. But from that, we set a high, set a low, have not taken the prior high, and look to break the last low. So it's just kind of messy right here locally. I think what is way safer and lacks any risk to reward is to wait for a break back above this high. But you're going to need an initiation above this double top right here, which is always kind of tough to do, to even get some R's to that. So I don't know if I like anything locally on this to trade. I don't know if I love anything locally here. I really don't. I really don't. I'd much rather be, I would just much rather be down in an area like this. Are you going to get on the wick, bruh? I would really much rather be down in an area like that for a long, I mean, this thing is, it's like, it would be, hold on, what's another way I can describe this? It's like you have this prior range down here, this guy, I'm talking about this guy now, and you've initiated from it, so longing on the I don't know about that, man. I think I would like, honestly, here's another idea. I would rather see price return above this high here. I'd rather see price return back up to here and break it and initiate above it and look for involvement here or here for a further run up, because that tells me that this double top, this was just a range and it pulled the bottom and it initiated. And so now what this does for me, if this does this, what this does for me is it takes like my strong low from down here and moves it up to here for me. Now that gives me a whole nother perspective on the market. Right now, that gives me a whole nother perspective on the market. If we can initiate up out of that, right now my strong low is clear down here. Right, so if my strong low is here, and I mean, it's a double top, so I hate calling it a weak high, but for the sake of it, we're going to call it a weak high because it is still weak right now. It is still currently weak. So if my strong low is down here and my weak high is up here, well, then I'm longing in premium. Right? I'm literally long in premium. Whereas if we were to initiate here and then start to see a pullback, I'm no longer, now I'm beginning to long in we're just going to theory craft it, say that the high came in at this guy. Now I get an opportunity to long in discount. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. But we still haven't picked out a trade on this, so let's slap some ideas on here and let's move on with our life. I want down there. I want down there, or I want an initiation here, a mitigation back into this, and a continuation up. 4 longs. That's what I want. 4 longs. So that's going to be this guy. That's what I want. 4 longs. 4 shorts. This chart's getting fucking messy. Woo! It's getting messy. 4 shorts. I want to see how we're going to do this because I need to move this down to get it out of the way. 4 shorts, I think I want to see it cut through this demand, back test into here. Something along those lines. You've got a double top here, so I want to see you lose this range. I want to see, and I don't want to see you lose the range like this, right? Where you just kind of like nip down into demand a little bit and then start coming back up. No, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I want to see it initiate below the range and then crawl back up into the double top range and then fall back down to the prior demand range. So I think that's all. I think that's all, folks. I think that's all, folks. Hey, top of the morning, Alex. Top of the morning, good sir. Top of the morning. And I am only on my second coin. No, I'm on my third coin. I'm just doing terrible. I'm doing terrible. I gotta move faster. Ton, Prime. Hey, there's only Ton, Prime, and Dodge. We gotta move fast. Ton, Prime, and Doge. Ton, Prime, and Doge. Okay, well, let's work with this. Let's just, I don't know, pick up where we left off here. Anybody spot the mistake I made? Because I do. I spot it. I spy the mistake I made. That's a mistake I made. I did not draw the whole supply range. I just drew the first section of it. I did not draw the whole supply range. That's the mistake I made. Okay, now let's talk about this because it looks cute, right? Looks cute. It's not super cute. It's actually not super cute. Let's go to the 4. Okay, can we agree that we have 2 down candles followed by 2 consecutive up candles, touch the high, break the low? Because if we can agree on that, then we had a double top that broke 4-hour market structure in the event that we're willing to agree on this. Supply. And what is the last kind of single candle in that? It's this guy right here. Okay, I'm cheating a little bit. I'm cheating a little bit, guys. I'm cheating. So whatever, because it doesn't matter. That's all old news. So what does this mean, right? This means that we did come down and we did touch this prior range that we broke from left to right, formed an inefficiency. Do we think maybe institutional involvement got involved down here? Can you bring this up? If you long this right now, can you bring it up 19% for us? Because if you can, let me know when you're going to hit the button, and I'll hit the button too, and then I'll just trade with the market maker that's watching the video right now. So anyways, was there institutional involvement there? Yeah, there was. So has it come down to mitigate that? Yeah, it has. Is it getting a little bit of lift out of there? Sure. Yeah, we're all looking at the same chart, right? But it's currently under 4-hour bearish market structure. So in a situation like this, you know, like I really feel much more comfortable when we return 4-hour structure to bullish. I just feel way more comfortable about that. Now, I mean, having said that, We're in discount. Okay, we're in discount from this range to you know, from the thing to the thing, and we put on the thing, and we can agree that price achieved discount, right? We can all agree with this. So because we're in discount, and because we have mitigated demand, and because I did have a long idea here, we planned this long, must have been back in here. I was hoping for some move down from that supply, I'm guessing. So because we have achieved an area in which I was interested in the chart, let's give it a little bit more credit. Let's take a look at this leg of price from here to here. And let's identify our highest time frame structure on it. Our highest time frame structure is about 30-minute structure. From here to here is about 30-minute structure. It kind of flows like this. 1, 2, it's pretty shit high. Down, up, down. Those lows touch each other. So your highest time frame structure point on this leg of price from here to here, it breaks here. It breaks here, okay? Okay, so if we can break there, might still incur a little bit of trouble here. Let's go ahead and extend that down so we don't make the same mistake I made on that other chart. I don't know, man. Like on a Friday, I just don't know. I just don't know if this can. This is kind of what I want to say. I want to say like here, 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 in the event that this double bottom, can't draw a double bottom with a short tool, Brewberry. In the event that this double bottom that got put into the demand that we already identified is to incur a higher low for a higher high. Let's step back out for a second, right? We can all agree that that would be a higher low for a higher high. In the event that this thing continues to crank up from here, then I think say too much. I got yeah. Then I think yeah. What am I trying to say? Then I don't think there's a reason to revisit this, right? I don't think there's a reason to revisit this. What if we rotate from this range that we have swept the low of? What if we initiate out of here and then come back into that sucker for some mitigation and continuation? I think that looks like a play that I would potentially be interested in. That looks like a play I would potentially be interested in. Especially if supply, this piece of supply here, gets mitigated and then comes down in here, and yeah, no, because that to me, what that's telling me is like supply worked, but it's not in control. So I suppose it would be wise to have a little bit of a market structure flip in there. Anyways, yeah, something along those lines, right? Something along those lines. Let's get rid of some of this other shit. That's a play I would potentially be interested in. All right, and I'm absolutely I'm absolutely past my time. 100% I'm going overtime today. But it's Friday. It's Friday, man. See if I give a shit. Do we have Prime on the list? That's the question. Do we have Prime on the list? We don't. So we got to go search it and find it. Prime Bybit. I would rather not use a spot chart. If I have to use a spot chart, I will. But yes, I would much prefer the perpetual chart. Well, this is a pretty ugly chart. Is this like Prime, the sports drink? I'm just joking. I'm just joking. You're under bearish weekly market structure. Okay. It is what it is. Can't be what it isn't. You're under bearish weekly market structure. Can we get any love on the daily? I mean, if we can break this, I don't think you should touch this thing until above 5.5. I really don't think you should touch it until then. I don't. I mean, just generally speaking, between this high and this low right here, I just don't even see any real bottom side wicks. I see a lot more wicks on the top of these candles than I do on the bottom of any of these. And I just don't like that, right? That looks like people are still filling up short positions on this. Yeah, I don't particularly care for it in here. No, I don't. I just don't. I don't care for it in here. I want to see price up here and then revisit the chart. In the interim, I actually think it's reasonable to focus on shorts. Yeah, I'd rather not play with anything here. I mean, you know, you do have what, a double bottom, and that demand held its ground. And then we'll relabel it. We'll not be so lazy. I'm gonna be late to work anyway, so who cares? Right, and then we did break up from that range again, and are we currently mitigating it? Yeah, we sure is. We sure is. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Not really my cup of tea. Not really my cup of tea. I think this thing is it's pretty bearish down here. Where did my demand box go? Yeah, I don't. No. Nah, man. Nah, bruh. Nah, bruh. I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it. This is more of a 10-minute range. Let's get on the 10. I mean, maybe you got a little bit of a manipulation below the low. Restore some efficiency to the market. Test demand. And you can climb back up to that high, like maybe, but I wouldn't trade it with your money. So I don't think. Yeah, I said it before, and I'll say it again. Talk to me about 5.5. Yeah, talk to me about 5.5, or holler at me when we lose this low and let's short it. And that was Prime. Doge. Yeah, we got to do Doge. We got to do Doge. We got to do Doge. We got to do Doge because Doge is always interesting. It's always interesting, guys. It's always interesting. His chart is never not interesting. Always interesting. Cheeky bastard. You cheeky bastard. History books. I will talk about that as long as I trade. As long as I trade, I will be talking about that. I will reference this probably for the rest of my trading career. Oh, gorgeous price action. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. Let's get back into this. Focus up, bro. Focus up. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, I see a couple of things. Unimpressive, unmitigated portion of supply right here. Not impressed by it. Not impressed by it. But did we have a, what are we on? We're on the 2 hour. Did we have a buy to sell that broke structure from left to right? Yes. Did price form an inefficiency off of that? Yes. Did it take you below the other low on here? Yes. Did price then fall below this low? Yes. Though I would say that was probably more related to that supply. So maybe we take off our last yes here. Okay. Bleep, 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 blop, bleep, blop, bleep, blop. Bleeps and blops. Yeah. Okay. Now, did we have a sell to buy? Yes. Did it break structure from left to right? Yes. Did it form an inefficiency coming out of it? Yes. It did those things. Did it price come up significantly from that sell to buy that broke structure left to right that created an inefficiency on the chart? Did it? Let's find out. Be up to, I suppose 20%. It's subjective. I feel as though it came up far from there. So let's give it 4 yeses. Let's give this area on the chart 4 cuatro yeses. Has our highest time frame structure from the low to the high broken bearishly? Let's give that a big fat no with the W. No. No, it has not. I don't see it. Tag me in Discord if you see a break of structure on that leg of price from here to here. Tag me in Discord. Because I don't see it, man. I don't see it. What I see is a weak high. That's what I see. That's what I see. And what else I see is that price set a high and set a low and set a high and set a low, set a high and set a low. And I think we all see that. And yeah, so my original range would have been here. And now it has expanded to here. And so did it purge the low into demand? I reckon it did. Do we have top side wicks or bottom side wicks right here? I think we have bottom side wicks. The wicks are on the bottom. Now, what is our highest time frame structure from this high to this low? Probably this guy, right? Probably that guy. So would it be reasonable if we initiate from this range of price here, give it a little popski? Would it be reasonable to suspect that you could find a long trade out of this area in the event that we were able to form an initiation here? I think it's reasonable. I think it's a reasonable expectation. And I would be targeting stuff like this. Yeah. I'll be targeting things like this with that trade. That's my Dodge thoughts. That's my Dodge thoughts. Oh, we'll go take a that supply became a flip zone. God dang it! I wonder what he's talking about. Supply became a flip zone. This supply become a flip zone? Maybe. But BTC, likely up. Quite likely up. I think we started by the morning saying here before here. Pretty sure we started the morning saying that, and we have removed liquidity from the chart now, right? Which this is a very smart money type of move, where they get people to load their long trades up, and place their stop losses, and yank their stop losses, triggering their sell orders on their position into their buy orders. So they place their orders where the stop losses are. And so, I mean, it seems a reasonable expectation that it's going to come and smoke this high, especially after something like that occurred. I don't think that there's the only resistance that was, I had 3 areas of resistance when I got to the chart this morning. I only had 2, right? And we interacted on the first one, brought us back into demand. We interacted on the second one, blew out our initial low from market open, came up again. So all I'm saying is this resistance got chewed through already. So if there was any resistance left, it was those positions. Did it resist there? No, it did not. So like, I don't know, I guess maybe here, but like, look at the proximity to that high. Why the hell would it stop here when it can take any stop losses that rest up here? So yeah, I suspect that target does get achieved today. I do suspect that would be the case, and then we can start mucking out of some of these internal ranges here. Start getting out of some of these internal ranges and start challenging some of these more external spots on the chart, which are the places that I have more interest in. Yeah, those are the places that I have more interest in. All right, I have officially gone over my time, and I apologize for not being able to get to NTRN, but I'm fucking late for work. So I gotta go. What do you think on this overall range we're forming here, breaking up or down? Undecided yet. That's the range there. Okay. Undecided yet. Let me see. Yeah, no, totally undecided. I have no opinion on that. Yeah, I have no opinion on that. We have a single low and we have a single high. So failure, this is the way I look at it. If we fail 105.863, I think you're looking at evidence of distribution, in which the primary target would be 100.678, and then if you break down below that, it's just not a good look, guys. That's honestly not a good look. It's just not a particularly good look. It starts to get my little spidey senses tingling. But if we were to scoop the bottom of the range first before taking out the top of the range, that would have been way more bullish in my opinion, because that would have started to look like reaccumulation prior to a run at the all-time high. So I really don't love that we're leaving this low behind as we start coming up into this area. Yeah, that's why I have a short planned up here. Let me make sure I have an alert on that. I don't. What a loser. What a loser. Now I do. Yeah, I would have really rather swept the low first. Oh, I would have so much rather done that. I'm gonna go to work now, guys. Have a fun weekend and stuff and things. Or if you don't have a fun, I don't know, have a good weekend. Do something nice for somebody. But I'm out of here. Where did you learn SMC? Yeah, I learned it from White Phoenix. I was studying White Phoenix for a while, and then he kept teasing that he was going to come out with a course. It took him like a year. to get it done. And I might have been one of the first 5 people that ever purchased it. But yeah, I learned it from him, and then I think there's a few things I probably look at a little differently than he does. I'm not saying that's because I'm better than him. It's just because you know everybody has their own little idiosyncrasies. Um, so I probably yeah, it's not like I'm a mirror image of him. I'm by no means a mirror image of him. Yeah. Definitely learned from him. All right. Adios, guys. You have a good one. I'm out.